Thank you. Hello, Dustin. Dustin's here.
Hey,
Hey y'all.
Dustin.
So, how are you, Lindsay?
I am great. I'm doing really great. We've had a really good week this week, so I feel like our first week getting back into our rhythm and routine is just like it's been ideal for us. So, feeling excited.
Yeah, holidays make things so crazy for everybody.
For sure, for sure.
That
And we traveled over like the week before Christmas, so we had like the
right.
week of Christmas to New Year's to really kind of like just resettle, and we kicked off this week, guns blazing, all cylinders roaring away. So
Oh yeah, it was pretty mild for us, but I was still getting over getting sick.
yeah,
Brian
I
was
tell you what,
good.
that's just hanging with you, isn't it?
I'm telling you, I feel a lot better now. I still
You
have a
Yeah.
sound a lot
little stuff
better.
in my throat, but
Uh-huh.
nothing like it was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was bad. With having the C and
Uh-huh.
and, and having strep with it, I was so miserable. It was horrible.
I
But
can remember getting strep throat as a kid, and it always was
mm,
with ear infections. I had had chronic ear infections from the time I was like a wee little tot. I mean, I still can get them to this day, which they say it's an infant or childhood illness, and I'm like,
I
I
never
definitely had
had it
them.
as a kid.
Oh,
I
really?
never did. It was the first time I ever had. Knock on wood. Never had. It's the only time I ever had strep. And to put
Ugh.
her with the other thing, I was just so miserable. I was,
Yeah.
oh. And I was
Well,
worried about my husband because
yeah.
him being sick as a type 1 diabetic, usually
Diabetic.
his sugars go way up. They didn't.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
They
well, praise God for that.
didn't. He's, it's just fantastic. I was so
Yeah.
thankful for him. But I
Yeah,
was
he
more
recovered
worried
really
about him, and
quick.
I was out for the count.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Do you need anything? Do you want anything? Are you okay?"
You're like, I'm not okay, but there's nothing you can do for me right
That's
now.
right.
Exactly.
Just
That's
love me
right.
from afar so I don't get you sick
Yes.
again.
Oh, when he tested positive first. When a few more
Oh,
people get in here, you'll tell your story about get ready on keto, getting started with keto. God.
okay. Sounds like a plan. I'm in for chit
Anyhow,
chat. I like to chit chat.
I know I like it too. But when he started keto, his A1C was 7.9. It's 6.1 now.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's
And that was
amazing.
October of 2020 I started in September. He started a couple weeks later.
So what
But
what exactly like brought you to keto? I've listened to your story, but I have 1,012 different things crammed in my brain all the time. So trying to keep things straight is a little tricky.
you got to go back and watch my videos. No,
Like
my
and
sister.
subscribe.
That's right. I know you're subscribed. You just have to watch it.
Well, I
Um,
have watched them. It's a matter of just like all the details
remember,
gets
Because there's so many
that is
channels,
oh
so
my
many
my
stars, yes.
journeys
sister,
and testimonies to remember.
my
Well, and
sister
it's
got me started.
amazing when you were Dustin, I can identify with you. I had to have tubes popped into my ears a couple of times, so there's my
Hello,
Neely.
Neely. Hi, Renee.
Good
Hi,
evening.
everyone. Happy
Do
Friday.
you enjoy Tai Chi, Deb? I know that's your
This is my
sister.
sister. Yeah.
Mhm. See, I remember some details. I just can't remember them all.
Well, you met her, so
That makes it a little easier.
it's funny because when I see your videos from KetoCon,
Yeah.
the little shorts, the little clips that come on, it's like, because I remember seeing when I saw you and Neely down the
Yeah.
hallway,
Yeah.
and she's like, Sandy, and just, and that part shows up on the video all the time. It's funny.
Hmm.
Hi,
I
Renee.
really liked I really liked how I did that KetoCon video just because it
Mhm.
was like I knew I couldn't have a real conversation with my camera at all whenever I was actively there. There wasn't a chance on the planet. But whenever I got home, I was sitting there watching all the footage. I had so much.
Mhm.
But I was like, there's no way to like get this to make sense because it's so hard to give that experience without
Right.
context. So I was
Mhm.
like, we're going to do some cut-ins here and just talk about it as we go.
Yeah, but you asked how I got started. It was my sister. She
Oh,
did it.
okay.
She got me started.
Had you heard of keto before Deb?
No, I've heard of Atkins, and I tried
Okay.
it years and years and years ago when you all were
Hmm.
just wee ones.
Well, I remember I had a college friend who she started it when we were in college. And I just remember looking at her and saying, how do you go without sugar? And that was, gosh, 2002, maybe 2003. So
Awesome. Yeah.
I definitely was aware of it, but I couldn't fathom it.
All right.
I heard of
He
low
didn't have juice in his
carb, but
ears, but his
not
brother
keto.
did.
I think low carb was like, the keywords that were always put out there because it's kind of
Okay,
like
okay.
everything seemed to fall under that low carb spectrum. So I think
Uh-huh.
that's why that was more trendy, was low
Sure.
carb being used.
Hmm. Well, and I also think that it's kind of like a safer blanket statement to say low carb than it is to say like, well,
Yes.
I'm following a keto lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
it,
because a
it's
low
y-
carb, the range of that carbs, those
yeah.
total carbs is a wide range
Oh
from
yeah.
what I've seen. So yes, I think a lot of people kind of have it, like you said, like a blanket statement for a reason.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, if you do say the phrase low carb, everybody kind of has a more accepting perspective on that. You
Yes.
can have some vegetables and you can have some things, but
Mm-hmm.
also you're just being mindful.
Exactly.
And I watched a documentary on, I think it was like the original Weight Watchers, like way back, was it like the 50s when that kick started? And it was just like kind of like a deep dive into what it used to be like. And it used to be that they were very, very focused on protein, not having carbs, and not having sugar.
Yeah.
And being low fat. So it was just
The
protein, low
original,
carb, low
right?
fat. Yeah. And I was like, that is utterly fascinating.
Yes.
And it's one of those deals where it's like people want that kind of information, but the advice shifts. And I know there's a
Mhm.
thousand different reasons why, mainly, the food industry trying to really promote their things.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh, if we could just, like, all of these things originally, they started out so good, so good.
Mhm.
And now you look at somebody who like follows Weight Watchers and you're like,
Yeah.
that's a lot of corn. Okay.
Exactly. Because
I
now
mean,
we've
corn,
gone,
if you can tolerate it, that's more power to you, but that's a lot.
yeah, especially
I,
because they
I
go
have
on
to
the
comment.
trendy medication route when we talk about that company.
I have to comment
Eee.
to Dustin. 5 pounds, 1 ounce at birth. My oldest son weighed 10 pounds, 5 ounces. I
Oh,
gained 24 pounds when I was pregnant with him, and he weighed 10.5.
oh my stars.
I'm
Wow.
telling you,
That's
it
wild.
was great. But that's wild. My second one, my only other one, was 7'14" and 22 inches long. I gained 15 pounds with him. I used a lot of my own weight both times.
Oh,
I had
sure.
excess weight all most of my life.
Yeah. I
Hi,
I
Debbie.
can identify with that.
Yeah,
There's always some extra
yeah.
little famine padding.
Need to have Lindsay on my Saturday morning live.
Wow. Look at you, Dustin. That's
Yeah, that's
amazing.
awesome. Congratulations. That's
It
really
is.
cool.
I was on there. We were on for like 2 hours, and it was the day I tested positive.
Oh.
That
So you
was
you gave
that
of
was
yourself all the last little bits of energy all to
yeah, pretty
Dustin.
much. It was all to Dustin. Six
What a
pound when I
great
was
friend.
first son was same. Gained 100 pounds with him.
Oh.
Second son was 10 pounds, 11 ounces, and I gained 30 pounds.
Wow.
Ooh.
I mean, I gained a lot of weight, I felt like, with each of my pregnancies, like at least 25 to 30 pounds, which I think might be considered like typical. I
Yeah.
hate using the word normal because how do we know what's normal? I feel like typical kind of like just encapsulates the range a little bit better. But yeah, I definitely felt like it took a while to lose weight after
Mhm.
pregnancies.
Yeah, it was weird because when I left the hospital after the first one, I had lost more than I had gained.
Oh,
He was so big. People
yeah.
would come to
Yeah.
the
That's so
nursery to see
wild.
him because then you couldn't have the babies in the room with you
Oh,
because this was
Right.
yeah.
back
Oh,
in the early
yeah.
80s. And I mean, people, I'd go down the nursery like with my godparents when they came over,
Uh-huh.
and people were looking at the babies and said, he looks like he's 3 months old already.
Oh,
I said, trust me, he's not.
I just birthed that one.
Yes. It was, oh my goodness, it was crazy. And then when my
Oh,
other son, my younger one was born weighing like 3 pounds less, but being 2 inches longer. He was my problem child.
oh my gosh.
does he know
The
that?
boys are older than the
He
two of
does
you.
now
So
if he's
they
watching.
are 42
Hey,
and
hey
41.
now. I'm about to be 40, thank you.
They are
They're
both,
in that same category of age range. We're
yeah,
Right.
we're
yeah.
80s babies.
I'm right there with
Yep.
you, Lindsay, because I just turned 40.
Y'all are just babies.
That's
Oh,
what she
stop
says.
it.
Babies with babies.
Fine, we'll
I knew
respect
that was
it, but we don't
coming.
like
Right.
it.
Dustin said he'll be
Oh,
45.
you see,
Still young.
another in the 40s
Woohoo!
club.
hmm I'm just old.
No, you're not.
No, you are not.
You're
I feel
experienced.
a lot younger than I am.
You're
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
experienced, you're seasoned. We can go on and on. But saying old,
Season.
no.
I robbed the
Although,
cradle with my husband.
oh, Cindy,
No,
Yes, there. Pull up
bless.
that next comment, Cindy.
he's 61. I know she does this all the time. Debbie said, I'm not old.
Yes. You see?
She is
It's
older
a
than me.
joke. Yeah, oh, I remember that. Yeah, I was like, I know there's a joke there. I can't hear it.
I
See,
still got
I'm
you,
getting
Renee,
old.
by
The
a few
hearing's
years.
awful.
I didn't hear it either, so don't feel bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't either, Dustin.
You
I
see?
just mess around about it because everybody I've met, most everybody I meet is like your all's age. I'm like, these are young enough to be my kids.
See, sometimes
It's all
the
good.
children's generation, they do kind of know what they think about things and know what they're talking about every now and then. I'm
Just
gonna have
not
to
my
try to think
kids.
about that. Not my kids either.
They're still young. Just
You
wait. I
do,
I
got a
know.
Cindy, you do
13-year-old.
so
I feel
many
bad.
cool things though. Like, do you know Lindsay? She does bowling. She's on a bowling
I
league.
love bowling. That's fantastic.
3 leagues a week now.
And here
And
she's trying to call herself old.
last night, I'm gonna tell you, I had a 250 the last game.
Wow.
I know. It was awesome.
I haven't been bowling in ages.
Me
I couldn't tell you the
either.
last time I've been.
Hey, Stacy. Wedding
How are
person
you,
is calling.
Stacy?
Her daughter's getting married.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Yes,
congratulations.
Yes.
Was that
congratulations.
was that happening like back at Keto Palooza and I just missed that detail?
She just recently announced it on Facebook, not
Oh, okay.
too awfully
So I
long
didn't miss
ago.
things. I am very
How
bad at details,
exciting.
just as a side note. I know I
I'm his
say that
bonus
often.
mom.
Oh, precious.
And then there's Sana.
Oh,
And
siblings.
Lynn, I just love her.
It's a good
Thank you,
time. It's a good
Susie.
time.
We're all family. That one big
Now I got the
Yes,
happy
song in my head.
absolutely.
community family.
Yes.
Yes. Stacy, thank you. Just engaged, but together 5 years.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
I do not miss planning a wedding. Like I had a great time at my wedding, but I was like, okay, let's get that done so we can move on with life.
Mhm.
That's why we opted for the courthouse. I could not go
Oh,
through that. I could not.
well, I
Well,
was the first in my family, like first in the group of grandkids to get married, and so it was one of those deals where it was
Oh,
like, okay,
yes.
we gotta we gotta do all the things. So,
Right.
I'll tell you, this is my third marriage. My first one, we had a big Catholic wedding. It lasted
uh-huh.
4 years, and that was it. The
The
second
wedding
one,
lasted for 4 years.
the marriage lasted 4 years. And then my second marriage, he was Presbyterian. So we got married in a Presbyterian church. And that one, like 6 years before he threatened to kill us. Like,
Oh, that's
that's a
awkward.
story in itself. But Brian
Yes.
and I, next month, we'll be married 20 years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. The third and final, and definitely the best.
Yeah.
You're
Always
Aw.
and forever.
Yeah. Somebody asked her how she was stuffed. I just ate right before this, too.
And what did you have that got you stuffed? Let us know.
Steak, and I made some carnivore bagels because I'm doing carnivore this
Ooh.
month.
Mm-hmm.
And they were okay. I don't know whose recipe it is. I got to find out because I didn't have. I
Sure.
just printed up the recipe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I've
got
seen those circulate around. I haven't made them as of yet.
Lynn met Brian at one of the indie meetups.
Fun.
Yeah, the indie meetup, and he was talking to her like she's waiting for him to get on here with me and tell his story.
Happy birthday, Renee.
I love a good ribeye. Like 16 ounce.
Yes.
Just kiss it to the flame, salt it to
Mm-hmm.
death.
Mhm.
Yes.
Inhale. I like it. Everyone is so glad when it's all over.
Yeah.
Debbie does alterations. So she is like
Oh,
super busy just about all the
mm-hmm.
time now, trying to get out and retire, but they're not having it.
You got to get an apprentice, Debbie, and get somebody else to like take over for you.
For the clients.
That's
I
right.
can
With
tell
the
you her
speaking
answer to that.
person.
She doesn't trust anybody else.
Oh, well, if
Mm,
she trained them up,
yes.
maybe it would work.
Oh, yeah. I could definitely see that.
Hello, Jason.
Hi, Jason. I keep looking for your email and I wonder if I didn't delete it. Can you email me again, Jason? Because I cannot find it.
Starting.
Oh, okay. So our birthday's on the
Happy
18th.
birthday on the
Yes.
19th. Everybody just saying hi.
Yeah.
A date has been selected and details are being worked out for the indie meetup.
Very
So,
Lindsay, you
how
cool.
gotta
many
go.
how many my life. I mean, right now I'm able to be here for another about 10 or 11 minutes and that's
Mm-hmm.
and then it's time for me to jet. But trying to get to email or trying to get to meetups is one of those things where it's just like, where does it fit? How does it fit? How can I possibly? And like travel time and all those things. So
Right.
I'm hopeful that Dawn from is it Dawn Does Keto?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that the proper? Because
Uh-huh.
like there's Autumn, Watch
Dawn and
Autumn Keto,
Mike.
and it's just like those kind of
Yeah,
like
Dawn does keto. They're her and
Dawn
Maitreya
does.
from Radical Geek.
Uh-huh.
They're supposed to be getting one together too for Columbus area, I believe.
Yes. So my hope is that if we can make that one work, like that drive is manageable.
Mm.
It's just
The only thing we have to worry about when we go to these meetups is the dog.
Yeah.
oh
We have to have somebody
sure.
take the dog out, and our neighbors have been pretty good about that.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
I would love
That's
to have some
nice.
good meat tips.
That sounds really good.
Still, that's messed up.
There's always
so
some kind
sorry,
of a
Stacy.
challenge, isn't there, Stacy?
Yeah.
There is for sure.
Well, and it's not like you can Uber that far
No,
without like paying through the nose, and then you're like, I should have just rented a
Yes.
car.
that's like for Keto Palooza. Her car had broken down. She had her tickets and
Yeah.
everything. We went and picked her up and brought her. So
It's awesome.
she's really a sweet girl.
She is precious.
Mhm. So I know we don't have much time
Yeah.
with Lindsay, unfortunately, but understandably, she's a busy young lady. Well,
Just
you
keep
are.
going on with that, Cindy. Just keep
Yeah.
going on with it. It's fine. It's fine. I'll remember. It's fine. Probably forget it's a detail.
Well, you are busy. You are busy.
I am pretty busy, but the young lady part was the problem.
You are a young lady.
She just had to sneak it in.
I know. She just did it. She just keeps doing it. I will remember, maybe.
What will you want to be called? An old lady? A young girl? Little
I
woman?
haven't given this enough thought. I don't know where to go with this.
Food for thought.
Oh man, that's a lot of decisions. I'm not sure if I can stand up to the test of this challenge.
Especially on the spot.
I just put her there, didn't I?
You sure did. Okay, but ask the rest of your questions so we can move forward.
So, in a nutshell, what brought you to keto?
Aha. So I have always been a sugar addict. Always. From the time I was a wee little thing. Always craved sugars, never really cared about the salty, savory stuff. And um it it definitely had me at an uncomfortable place for my weight, for just like my body all over. And I want to say my husband and I had been married for a couple of years, a few years actually. We had had our first. And growing up, I had some TMJ issues with my jaw. And that's always a problem. I talk a lot and I like to sing, and I was part of some choirs and things like that. So my jaw was definitely a major part of like my activities and what I do. And when we were living in Arizona, I think. We've lived all over.
Mhm.
And in Arizona, I went to get my ears really were bothering me and my jaw was bothering me. So we thought that I had ear infections, which are common for me. And I went to the doctor, no ear infection. Have you considered getting your wisdom teeth out? And I was like, I didn't know that that was a connected situation. So I went to a dentist and I only had 3 wisdom teeth, and they were all like fully grown in, like erupted is what I guess they call it. So they were able to just pull my wisdom teeth, and they said that should really help you out. And I was like, okay. And they said, also, here's a TMJ specialist to see if we can't like help you further if you still have problems. There were still problems. So I went down to this TMJ specialist, and he had me I was still breastfeeding my oldest daughter, and he wanted to put me on some really heavy hitting anti-inflammatory meds that I couldn't take while nursing. And he said, you can do these meds, or you can go on a liquid diet and just try to alleviate any of the stress on your jaw that you possibly can. Try to talk less, try not to use your jaw as much. And I was like, I will gladly drink my food if I don't have to stop talking. So went that route. I dropped a lot of weight, probably about 15 pounds. And I'm very short. For context, I'm only like 5 foot, almost 3. And so 15 pounds on my frame is a solid amount of weight, a mass, if you will. So I did that, and my jaw did feel better whenever I had lost some of that weight. And also I had given it a chance to heal. So I started eating again after about a year. And during that year, I think it was the following year, we got pregnant with my second child. And I started to notice that my teeth were very, very sensitive, had lots of problems. So I started looking into natural ways to sort of help your teeth. And I came across Weston A. Price from the Weston A. Price Foundation, the dentist from, the early 1900s, and learned a lot about how slow food, so like fermenting your grains and, soaking seeds and making sure that you prepare foods properly and slow down that process will help to sort of break the bonds of the anti-nutrients. And I was like, okay, this sounds cool. So I started sprouting my own wheat, drying it and grinding it. I really got into that. I got really into like home fermenting yogurt, and I got into kefir and kombucha and a lot of sort of the nourishing traditions type ferments and foods and things like that. So I did that for a couple of years, loved it, but I was still eating mostly bread because, sourdough. And then I was not really improving in the weight department. I'd gained back the weight that I had lost on that liquid only situation in my life. So I gained all the weight back because I was able to eat all the bread and potatoes. And after doing that for so long, we then moved to, I guess we were in Utah, and I had a local friend there who told me, have you ever heard of like this weird thing where you eat high fat and like no sugar, and it's called keto? And that was like 2014. I was like, what? That's going to kill people. Like, what about their hearts? Oh my word. And my dad had a quintuple bypass several years prior. So I was
Wow,
like,
yes.
people are nuts. What is happening in the world? So I was like, that's cute, but I'm not going to do it. And I'm going to stick with all of my slow food, my sprouted wheat that I'm making and grinding myself. I'm having a great time here. So we moved to Alaska after that, and I was still doing all of my fermenting things. We moved to Wisconsin, and I looked at myself in my clothes, and we had taken a little bit of a pay cut to take this different job. And so there was not a lot of spare cash to buy new clothes that fit me better. And I was very uncomfortable in all of my clothes. I was just like, I kind of felt like I'd been stuffed into sausage casing. And I came across Trim Healthy Mama, which is basically a carb cycling way of eating while also incorporating like that more slow food, nourishing traditions kind of mentality. So I started that up and hated the carb meals because I was starving after them every time. And I realized that all I was eating was high fat, high protein meals. What is this? So I basically started keto, reversed it. Like I started it before I understood it. And then I realized, oh, I'm keto. That's what I'm doing. And that was in January of 2016. I think I only actively followed the Trim Healthy Mama like plan for like 2 weeks. And I mean, I dropped a lot of weight. I dropped about 14 pounds in the first 3 weeks of cutting out sugar and carbs. But once I realized that I was keto, I was like, that's what I am. That's just what I am. And we're going to keep doing this because it feels good. I would still like categorize a lot of stuff as Trim Healthy Mama, and I would keep trying to go back to the carbs. Like, can I get this to, like be a thing? Because Trim Healthy Mama was kind of like popular at the time. And I was like, I know it can work. I see that all these people are successful with it. Like, maybe I can have some carbs too. And it was just like, no. Got pregnant with my third one after a year of keto. And so I went back to Trim Healthy Mama because I was really concerned about milk supply, and I didn't quite fully understand how everything would come to pass. So I did that. I did struggle on my pregnancy. I struggle with nausea all the time with pregnancies. So I did have like plenty of standard American diet fare for the first 3 months, 4 months, maybe even 5 months of my pregnancy. And then I went back toward Trim Healthy Mama to try to like get myself back away from just like flat out sugar. And even whenever I was nursing my third, I was still keto, and I was just like adding in carbs every now and then. It wasn't a ton. And I was definitely like happy to be back on keto. And I've been here ever since. And I've tried a lot of different things within the keto realm. And I think I've decided the thing that matters most to me is restricting carbs and not caring about how much fat or how much protein I eat.
Yeah.
So that's about that.
I've been waiting to put that one up there.
I call my children
a lot
ma'am.
worse than young lady.
I call my children ma'am. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, What are you doing? It's kind of like a corrective tone.
Right.
I say ma'am to everybody. It's great. But so yeah, that's kind of where I am.
Well, you're from Texas, right?
I sure am.
Originally from. My
Yep.
daughter-in-law is from Texas. And when
Yeah.
she first moved up to New Hampshire, when we were up there, everybody, ma'am, sir, it was just like,
Yep.
it was so automatic. She made her kids do that. I said, listen, this is it. I am grandma. I'm not ma'am. Don't do this. You call me mom, whatever. Don't call me ma'am.
I would beat my kids if they didn't say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
She used to get beat when she was young because of that. She did.
You know, you head to Texas and it's a different world.
But yeah, I mean, she was always very, very polite. And that's what that's what she was teaching her kids. But when they come to me and they say, thank you, ma'am, I said, I'm your grandma. I'm not ma'am.
Because it's like a habit for them at that point. So I get it. Because that was like us growing up. Sometimes it would just slip because it's just such a habit with the mannerisms because they are like instilled and like drilled into you.
Oh yeah, it's just part of your genetic code.
Yes.
That's it. You just do it and you don't have any control over it. It just sort of happens.
Because I used to do it, and my mother, she would just turn and look at me like I was crazy. Like, do you realize what you just called me?
Well, when they moved when they moved to New Hampshire with their kids, the two oldest were, I want to say 6 and 7, and they really hadn't been around me at all. So, you know, I'm grandma, regardless of what you think.
Yeah.
But it was funny. They're great kids. So.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to children and how they address like their grandparents, there's not a whole lot of things that you can really do. I really pushed hard for my kids to call my mom Nana because she hated Nana because it reminded her of Nana Puddin'. And I was like, oh, that's dangerous. I'm doing that. And then the name didn't stick at all, much to my mother's pleasure. But my uncle, her brother, told my kids, you should start calling your grandma babushka because that's Russian for grandma. And I'm like, we don't have any Russian descent. We're Norwegian. This doesn't add up. But that's what they clung to. So my mom is babushka.
Wow.
And I can't say anything. I'm like, it's Nana Puddin' or nothing. And they are like, it's babushka. Okay.
That's cute though.
I know. Hey, ladies, I have got to run. My timer has gone off. I appreciate y'all working with me on my scheduling here.
No, thank you.
Well, we appreciate you coming on.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Whatever time you were able to give, we wholeheartedly appreciate it.
Does StreamYard do the thing like Restream?
Does it work?
It always works for me.
What are the other things you do? The thumbs up. There's something that gets fireworks. There you go.
I don't remember if Peace does something. Peace does the balloons.
Neely's still on here to see it works through StreamYard too.
Oh, Neely can't do it.
Oh.
She tries so hard too.
I win.
Well,
I don't know if there's like a high five one.
Both on here sometime.
Oh, that would be a blast.
Yeah,
that would be a blast.
He's here.
Well, you let us know when you have time.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we'll approach Neely. Or you and Neely get together and yes.
She's down there
we'll work it all out.
Unfair.
Yes.
All right. Well, y'all have a great rest of your chat. Thank you again for having me on. And
thank you so much.
I hope to see y'all again.
Thank you for joining us.
Go check out my channel if you haven't already.
Yes, I dropped your link a few times. Yes. Definitely, everybody. I dropped her link a few times in the chat. So definitely go ahead and show her some love.
All right. I was trying to grab any chats that were directed towards Lindsey. But I'll go back and highlight these. Yeah, she's got to get her dog taken care of too.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Take a smaller car to KPI and put a truck. I believe that. That parking lot's crazy.
Yeah, we were
Look out
joking
that
about it in
one.
the chat. Oh.
Renee. Looks like
Yes,
they're
I
just talking
just
back and forth.
experienced that being called ma'am by one of my coworkers. I was like,
Oh
what did you just
yes.
call me? I was
It's a
like,
southern thing. I'm telling you, it's like big car. It's a big
no, I
truck,
totally
evidently.
get it because, well, even I was born and raised in New Jersey, but still, our parents expected everybody, to be called ma'am and sir. But still, yet hearing someone else call you ma'am, yeah, definitely was not prepared for it.
So Jason, they actually I'll eat sauerkraut and stuff
Hmm.
like that, but
Yeah.
I will go out of my way to do any of that. It's like,
There was some gut repair I believe he was trying to do.
yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so. In fact, Debbie, if you're still in, not my sister Debbie Savings, if you're still in here, have you tried fermented foods? She's one of my subscribers, and really sweet girl. She has a lot of gut issues that
Hmm.
she's trying to work through. All right, Dustin, our granddaughter. Excuse me, ma'am. From what Lindsay said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a southern thing. And ma'am said,
Yeah.
well, not there. People ma'am me, I feel old. That's right. That's why I said I'm grandma. Grandma don't make me feel as old as if they say ma'am. That was young. My son was 19 when they had their first child, and I was only 22 when I had him. So I was 41 when I became a grandma.
This is here where she was
Nearly.
saying so unfair
Yes.
about the reactions. That was really cool though.
Nearly, you're just going to have to keep trying. That's all.
Yeah, you'll probably have to ask her when you email her, Dustin, because that was really cool.
If I know you're working when they do their lives. It's funny as all get out. Yeah, if you
Yes.
haven't subscribed to Lindsay, Debbie, do it. Her and Neely. Well, I know you subscribe to Neely.
Yeah, they're both amazing. Such down to earth, just it's amazing. Even like the interaction with the both of them is a huge bonus also. So sub to both if you're not sub to both.
Yes, I know she's subbed to Neely. Put yours in the chat, Sana, so people can grab yours.
Let me
Because we
add
want
in.
baby updates all the time.
Yes, I just recently started recording again for like my food and everything because slowly but surely things are kind of slowing down at work a little bit. Not too much, but things were really hectic early on where I don't really get a chance to take a break sometimes. Sometimes I just kind of work through my 8 hours, but now with baby, I have to because I definitely have to eat. I can't fast as long.
I just heard somebody knocking on something here.
Yes, I heard too.
I don't know what that was. Sounded like it was right outside my window.
Oh no.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. Second thing is being called Miss Deb. Oh, yes. I've been at her shop with her, and there's people go, hey, Miss Deb. Health focused stores,
Oh, okay.
even in her 20s. And there's Sana's channel. If you haven't subscribed and you want baby updates, get on there.
Yeah, because I'll be able to find out on the 19th, they're hoping that I'll be able to find out Because I
It's a
shared with
boy or girl?
everybody early on. I don't know
I think
because
that would probably be too early on to tell that.
yes, because this is so recent that and I told everybody too, like in the video that this is like probably TMI, but I just knew because I just missed my period this past December, the end of December. So
Mhm.
that's how recent this is.
I'm
And I
surprised
wanted to
they're
share
bringing you
with
in already.
everybody. They want to see, what they can see kind of thing. Because I've been going to that OBGYN office ever since we had the first. So
Yeah,
I've been going to them, oh my goodness. It was like late in 2007 since I started with that office. So, just kind of having that patient history with them. They said, "Yeah, let's get you in and
that's
see
awesome.
what's going on." Yeah,
We
so they're
should
super nice there.
we should go down our prospective list of who we got coming on so that people know.
Yeah, we can. Also, if anyone has their journey that they want to share, whether you have a channel, don't have a channel, definitely reach out to either Cindy or myself. We both have our emails posted you'll find on either of our pages. So
Yes,
definitely reach
Debbie,
out to us because you do not
Deb
have to
Riley.
have a channel. You can very well come on and guest appear because we give you a StreamYard link, which does not require you to have a channel. It is just a
That's
clickable
right.
link that gives you the access. So don't feel like you have to have a YouTube channel. It's just to kind of bring people to see that the proper human diet works for a whole different variety of people. So anybody and everybody that wants to share their story, we are totally for it. So, and then also let us know if there is a channel that you would want us to have guest appear, let us know as well. We
Yes,
would
that
love
would
to
be.
feature any channel out there that Cindy and I might have not thought of, or possibly might be like a future.
You're a brat, Deb. All right, Sana, you start with the 12th, and I'll go with the 19th, and we'll go back and forth.
Okay, let me grab my calendar because I
This
got
is who we have coming on the next
two
couple months.
different
There's a
calendars.
couple days that are still open, but yeah.
Okay, so coming up next Friday, we're gonna have JT from Poco Moonshine family. He's really, really big in the carnivore community, so it's going to be exciting to have him on and take it
And
away.
the 19th, we have James and Emily from Ready Set Keto coming. So it's 2 weeks from today.
Yes, they're going
And
to be super fun.
most everybody knows who they are.
hmm And then come the 26th, we're going to have Alana. She is from Carb Addict Now Carnivore. So it's going to be exciting to feature her story because she is also a new carnivore as well. So it'll be nice to kind of get her update of how she's doing.
On February 2nd, Jason, if you're still in here, we have Just Jason Keto and more. He just interviewed me he's thankfully sent me a link for it. I put it up as a video that's coming up in the morning. It's my live with him, my interview with him, or his interview with me, however you want to say that. The 9th, I think we're open, right?
The
Right now.
9th, we are open. Susie, if you're still in here, Susie, I sent you an email, but I'm going to send you an updated email as well. So, Susie, if you're still in here, check your email.
Yes, that's you, Jason. All right. On the 16th, we have Nurse Cindy coming on, and I'm so
So
excited.
excited. So
Just waiting for
excited.
her picture unless anything happens. And Susie, yes, she got your
Mm.
email.
Okay, I see it. All right, perfect.
So that's going to be exciting. And the 23rd, Sana?
Yep, the 23rd, we are going to have Christy coming back from Meeting Wellness, and then as well as Ellie. So they do lives together. So it's going to be nice to have the combination of the two of them coming on. and we're gonna do like a full-on ladies panel, which is gonna be super fun. Super excited for it.
That's going to be fun. They are great ladies.
Yes, so sweet.
March 1st, mark your calendars. 2 crazy ketos are coming on.
Joe and Rachel.
Yes. And Sana,
The 8th, I can't exactly
can't
say as of
say.
yet, but it's
Okay.
a big surprise for Cindy because to give a hint, we'll give a hint, Cindy. To give a hint, Cindy could not be part of a particular
I
live.
know who it is.
So
I
maybe
was
if I
in the
say
chat.
that,
I
it
couldn't
might
be
hint
here.
at it.
On the 15th, Mike and Dawn and Mike from Dawn Does Keto. That'll be another good one. They're all going to be good.
And then that should kind of be it for now because we're still waiting
I have
on a
got
few reach
I
outs.
have
Oh, you
got
do have one.
a couple more
Yep. So go ahead with
ongoing.
yours.
So the 29th for me of March is open. The 12th of April is open for me. April 26th, we have Kim Howardson coming.
Super
That's going to be
excited.
exciting.
Yes.
And then I just got confirmation from Miriam, Chris and Miriam Bear from Keto Chow are going to be with us May 10th. So
Absolutely
that's
love
exciting.
them. Yes.
Well, you know I do.
Yes. Yes. Because you
I
definitely
love
need to
them.
be
I
their
love their
ambassador.
product. And I'm not able to have any this month. And it's going to be a long month.
Yeah. But you'll get through it like you have before.
Yes. It's going to be a long month. Okay. Susie got your email. But that's what we have for now. So like Sana said, anybody wants to come on or you know somebody that has a really great story, send them our way because there's going to be somebody out there that person can help.
Absolutely.
It's like, that's why I started my channel. And I'm sure Sana the same way to try to help other people because there's so many people, so many different stories, a lot of similarities with our stories.
Right.
Like why people get started and, all that. And the successes are great.
Yeah. And one story is going to resonate with somebody.
Right.
Yeah, so definitely let us know.
Vegetables. Think sauerkraut. Yes, sauerkraut. Yes. I had some right before on New Year's. No, Christmas Day. New Year's Day. Yes, we are too, Lynn, for sure.
Yeah.
Like sauerkraut.
Really
I would eat
excited.
it to feel better.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's some exciting stuff coming up. Yeah, I'm going to try to reach out to Dr. Barry. Fingers crossed. I've got a list here, and I'm going to reach out
find a
to.
way to reach him, Cindy. That's the thing.
I have his email. That's all I've got. That's all I can do.
Yes. But I'm sure his email is like a needle in a haystack.
I'm sure it is.
But we're going to keep
have
our
to pose a
fingers
$100
crossed.
question for him on his live chat.
Right?
That's right. That's like, he's hard man. I know he's busy.
Yeah.
He's hard to get hold of.
Look at Jason's comment.
You got to pay the bucks, Jason. That's all it is. I'm convinced. I just ate a bacon burger and now my stomach feels sick. I am so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
She's having so many problems. Debbie, if you don't mind me saying something.
Oh, gosh.
She has no gallbladder.
I don't either.
And she's got GERD. She has IBS. She's having a lot of problems. So we went carnivore. She's the reason I went carnivore this month.
Okay.
To try to help her out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has she spent time being keto?
In the past she had. And then she was off plan.
So I'm just going to say, Debbie, just from my own personal experience, I suffered from IBS very bad, very, very bad. And we're talking about, I was like at the end of my second year being keto, almost like the beginning of my third. And mind you, when I had started keto, this was in 2019. And I had my gallbladder removed in 2006. So that is like, you would think my body would have been able to cooperate so many years later to keto. In the beginning, it seemed like it did, but after so much time of being on keto, basically almost 3 years worth, it seems like possibly, at least for me, I was able to identify that any of the keto vegetables that I was eating, something was irritating me. It had to be something. I don't know if it was one veggie. I don't know if it was a variety of the veggies I was having, but it had to be something with the veg because ever since I've been carnivore, and we're talking about I just hit a year carnivore, I have not had any IBS issues. My IBS issues went away the third week of being carnivore. Can it happen that quickly for everybody else? Maybe, maybe not.
Hard to
That's
say.
just my personal experience. But then again, it helped me identify staying on it. It helped me identify definitely vegetables was the problem. Because if you really think about it, I'm still eating all the proteins like the meats and, seafood and chicken. I'm still eating all of that. That was very much part of keto. I'm having dairy. I'm having plain yogurt. I'm having cheeses. That was still very much what I was having on keto. The only thing was the veggies. Just recently, I started introducing avocado. It's just like those little serving cups of the avocado because it kind of helps me like portion it a little bit. They're like these little 2-ounce cups. Reintroducing that, my stomach hurt a little bit, which is to be expected because being 1 year carnivore, introducing something, it's going to irritate you. You've been away from it for so long, and
Or could
having
it
it
be because you're
again,
pregnant?
well, it's going to irritate regardless, pregnancy or not. Like anytime you eliminate something, especially for a whole year, and now you're having it, but now, like towards the end of the week of experimenting with it, I don't have a problem with it. That's the thing. But pregnancy related, I'm being careful with my reintroductions too because because my pregnancy is very much early on, morning sickness can happen. And I don't want it to kind of give a false sense that something I reintroduced made me sick. So that's why I'm going to kind of hang out until, this phase passes with morning sickness before I reintroduce something else. But definitely see. So she's saying, yeah, not near as much keto this year. I ate a lot of peanut butter and crackers, but I lost 30 something pounds. I went to the doctor and down 41 now. Yeah,
Yeah, she just had a doctor's appointment yesterday.
you really have to experiment. That's the thing. Not everyone, because Cindy and I, we mentioned this a lot, but not everyone's proper human diet, whether it's keto or carnivore, not everyone's is going to look the same. It's just not. There are some people out there doing carnivore and they'll still allow themselves keto chow. And that's okay because if that is what works for them, they need to keep doing what works for them. There are so many variations. Like with me with carnivore, I experimented to see what clean seasonings I can tolerate. I incorporate seasonings. Another carnivore might see that as blasphemy that I'm incorporating seasonings. But guess what? I do what works for me. So
Right.
everyone's journey is going to be different. It's very much going to be different. So
That's what I
you're going to
told her
have to experiment.
with
That's
this.
the thing.
I was telling her with the stomach issues. I said,
Yeah.
keep a notebook, write down what you're eating, and then
Yes.
how you felt afterwards.
Yes.
So you can try to pinpoint what exactly is causing it. But
Mm. Yeah.
there, it's never made her stomach hurt. grilled chicken the other night, and I think the butter made me sick. She got some grilled chicken and some extra butter to put on it for the fat, because
Yeah.
grilled chicken breast is so lean,
Right.
you
Right.
know, but it really bothered
Mhm.
her.
Yeah.
Jason says everyone has different reactions to everything for sure. I've tried so many things to fix my gut though, and this was just the
Yeah.
next thing. Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying here. So
Yeah. No, but the journaling is definitely a good idea. I mean, go to a complete elimination of what you can tolerate and add one thing at a time and experiment and journal. Journal
mhm.
everything.
Yeah,
Just as Cindy said, whatever you're experimenting with, try it one at a time. But doing an elimination is definitely the way to do it. It really
that's why I
is.
suggested originally we're going to do beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And
Hmm.
I thought that would be too confining
Right.
for her. And she'd have a little more variation with chicken and fish and, you know,
Yeah. But then she has
so,
to be careful because if she's thinking the butter made her sick, beef, butter, bacon, and egg,
right. And she doesn't
it,
like
it
eggs
might
too
be
much either.
it
So
might be tricky.
that's good, Debbie. But yeah, it's, that you've had the issues help
Hmm.
should help. And Jason too in the chat.
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
then it's tricky too because as we're transitioning, because I know she had said that, not much time on keto. The thing is too, we also have to remember we go through a lot of oxalate dumping. We go through a lot of healing, and those can also be symptoms of feeling sick.
Mm. So I told her.
So it necessarily doesn't have to be your food choices. It could just be your body's way of healing and detoxing. So that's the other thing too that you have to consider because if you're basically getting on a path of being more consistent, being on one way of eating, it very well could just be a healing phase as well. So definitely take that into consideration as well.
Well,
Welcome,
hello there,
Brenda.
Brenda.
Happy Friday.
But yes,
Yes,
it's tough trying to find something.
it's
And I told her
tricky.
it could be part of the keto flu.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know,
that's the
it could
thing.
be almost anything,
And that's a whole other
depending on
symptom
how
of
long she's had this
detoxing.
going on. Yeah,
Yeah,
because the keto flu would hang around for a little bit and then it would
it
go. The
can.
body
Yeah.
would adjust.
It can
But
linger
she,
on long for some, and some could have, a light symptom of it, and some they go through a lot with the keto flu that
mhm,
it almost makes them feel like they want to give up because it's so bad.
yeah,
Oh, wow. I'm
that's
so
a long
sorry.
time.
Yeah, because we're almost at like the year mark around the corner. Wow.
That's too bad. Did you see this, Donna? There's Mama
Oh,
Donna.
thanks, Brenda. Reality has not hit me yet. So if they're
Oh,
able to
yes, it has.
do it has not fully hit me. My husband, yes. Yes, because he has been emotional all over the place. But for me, I'm just like, yeah, it's just another day. But
Until you go to the
I think
doctor
as
that first
moms,
time.
it's like that just comes natural to us, because I already have two kids. So I think that just comes natural. Like, oh, it's just another to add to the bunch. Yeah,
That's so true.
yeah,
It's
it's
just
very
finding
true.
what bothers you and then staying
Hmm.
away from it and try
Yeah.
to correct it and try to heal it.
And
And
that's the
then see if
thing.
you can go
Yeah.
back to it.
We definitely do know our bodies. Like we are so capable of being in tune with our bodies. Um, it's just like with this pregnancy. Like I really knew. I really knew and I had told my husband I just knew. And it's because of being so in tune, like through this way of eating, that you become very in tune with your body to find out, what's causing you possibly an irritation or what's causing you a hindrance. You become so in tune with your body that it just comes natural. So, yeah, you're
Hello,
absolutely right,
Mr.
Debbie.
Garvey.
Yes, hello, Tom. Happy New Year. Happy,
How are you
happy New
feeling?
Year.
I know he's been having trouble with his knee.
I know, I know. Hopefully that can definitely resolve itself this year. Hopefully 2024 is the year
Yes.
because
Was
wow, it definitely has not been
big
easy.
changes in your life coming 2024.
Yes, it's definitely coming. How hilarious would it be at the hospital to do a live? The nurses will probably look at me like I'm nuts. Like, what are you doing? But it's okay because you know what? I was a college student when I gave birth to our second, and sure enough, I was there with my laptop and breastfeeding at the same time, and they thought I was nuts. But I had a paper that was due, and I wanted to get rid of it.
Wow.
But it's one of those things. It's like you do what you gotta do because I did not want to take maternity leave from college because then that postpones only that much longer for when you graduate and worked straight through it.
Good luck with that, Tom.
Yes,
MRI
definitely.
number two.
Prayers
They
your
couldn't find
way.
anything on number one.
Prayers your way for sure.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
because if
crazy.
they do find something, which I hope they do, because if they find something, then hopefully you can get relief.
They can fix it.
Hopefully they can, yes, hopefully finding something resolves what is going on to give you relief. So it's not always a bad thing for them to find something. So we're gonna
Mhm.
we're gonna think positive, gonna send you prayers. Yeah, because it was difficult. I still remember the video that he posted when he had gotten up and it was just like initially when he was dealing with the knee and oh my gosh, my heart broke because it's hard to see someone to just be in pain like that.
For those of you that came in a little late, Lindsay Murphy was here. She was very limited on her time, but go back and watch the replay because she's fun. She's
She
crazy.
is. She is. For the
It's a
for the
lot of
short
fun.
time that we had with her, it was definitely enjoyable. She's just
Neely, are
super,
you
super
still in
sweet.
here? We'll see. Dun, dun.
Nothing yet, so possibly
No,
no.
no, she
Because
probably.
she's also very busy as well.
Well, yeah, she's got 5 kids.
Yeah.
One's about to get married,
Mm-hmm.
and the youngest is 5 years old. That's a
Yeah, a lot
lot.
going on. Yeah. A lot going on in that household for sure.
Yeah, she had them around the same way my mom had the five of us.
Oh, close to, yeah.
4 girls. The youngest
Yeah.
was a boy. Okay,
Yeah.
the oldest and the youngest would have been. Let's see, my brother would be 60, 14 years apart between the oldest and the youngest.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, thank you, Debbie.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
But yes,
Yeah. The only
it's
difference
fun
is
having them.
we're three girls from my mother, and the boy is the youngest.
Yeah,
Like you guys were four girls, we were the three girls with the baby boy that was
yeah.
spoiled.
Our brother was the youngest and spoiled rotten.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yes.
he was overly spoiled by our mother and
Yeah,
overly
exactly.
disciplined by our father.
Uh-huh.
Big time. So there was
Sounds
a
the
real
same.
bad spot for him. And
Sounds the same.
he was very sickly, and as he got older, he didn't take care of himself,
Mm.
and he passed away at the age of 49.
Oh, so young. Oh,
Yes.
wow. I'm so sorry. So young.
That's why
Mm.
it's so important to get healthy and take care of
Yeah.
yourselves because it's just that's crazy.
Unfortunate, especially for losing such a young life. Wow.
Yep. Our dad passed when he was 56,
Oh my gosh. Wow.
and our mom was 70. She had just turned 74 a couple weeks before she died.
Mm,
So yeah.
wow. So she
After
really
I
had to
passed,
live with that loss.
I'll tell
Wow.
you, after I surpassed my dad's age of 56, I was excited. I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, I beat that
Right.
one.
Wow.
Now I got to get to my mom's and surpass that.
You
So
will. You
it just
will.
makes all the sense in the world to keep doing this. Trey, we
Oh,
got
thank you so much,
the
Tom.
same thumbs up. Good night, Tom. Thanks for stopping
Good
by.
night. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, he's really cool. You watch
He's
his
such a
older videos.
sweetheart.
He's got some good. He was a chef,
Yeah.
and he has some great videos, great recipes out there.
Yeah. He's so creative and talented.
Why don't you throw his link in there, Sana,
Yeah.
if you
On the
would?
hunt right now. It should pop up because I'm subbed.
It is hard, Debbie. You're right.
Here he is. Let me just bring the link up here and I'll pop him in there. Yeah, but it's a joy to watch him cooking.
Mhm.
Mm, yeah, it's difficult, especially I think also what's difficult is it's hard in a way doing so well with our own health and then feeling like you can't save others
Oh, trust
because
me, especially when it's your own kids.
it's
Trust me.
difficult to get others to change. Like I think that's the only advantage that we have because we're doing this while our children are young. They've been with this way of eating for 5 years now. And hopefully that was enough to get them to keep going. Hopefully, even when they leave the nest, hopefully, they feel good enough that they continue it. But it's just so difficult. It really is. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so sorry, Debbie.
yeah, that's it's rough. It's
Wow.
like, and I mean, our brother was pretty much estranged from everyone else in the family except our oldest sister.
Mm,
He burned a lot of bridges. Unfortunately,
wow.
that happens in a lot of families.
Right?
And yeah, it was pretty
Oh,
rough.
wow.
Yeah, Debbie's sister had cancer.
Yeah, my grandmother, she passed from cancer. Uh, she was just very susceptible to cancer. She ended up having like a cancerous tumor in her cheek at first. That was removed. They cut it out. Then years later, she had colon cancer, had surgery for that, and then ultimately she ended up passing January of 2010. So it's actually, coming up right now on the anniversary of her passing at the end of the month. But she ended up passing from ovarian cancer. So it's a difficult one when it comes
Yeah.
to cancer, especially because the way you see them change, their body change,
Oh, Deb can
it's
tell you
just
all about that.
heartbreaking.
Her husband,
Heartbreaking.
her husband, Deb, correct me if I'm wrong here. Howard was diagnosed stage 4, correct?
Yeah, my grandmother, stage 4.
Due to Agent Orange in Vietnam.
Mm, you see? That's why they say it's the ultimate sacrifice when they serve. Mm,
And he
wow.
was, I'll tell you, he was such a great guy.
Mm.
Yeah, lung cancer.
Oh, wow. I am so sorry.
He was so fantastic, that so good to her.
Mm, wow. It's
All right, we got to change the
heartbreaking.
subject because I'm gonna get all
Yes,
emotional here, and I
but
don't need to
we're
be
we're
doing that.
we're we're going to thank him and honor him for his service because truly he gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Yes, he did. Years later, but he certainly did.
Yeah.
That's crazy. There was a guy that used to come in the store that I ran,
Mm-hmm.
whose brother had MS
Oh yeah.
because of Agent Orange. And this stuff
Wow.
isn't, it didn't even come up. It didn't come to fruition for years later, like
Oh
ours.
wow.
Years, and then all of a sudden, boom. That's how powerful that
Mm,
stuff was and how dangerous it was. Like, holy mackerel.
mm,
It's just crazy.
so
Anyhow,
sad.
so what else is going on with you besides your pregnancy, young lady?
I mean, this week I started recording. I definitely have to see how those recordings came out because a lot of them were like really quick, like rushing from my work desk to the kitchen to heat up food, then rushing back to my work desk. That way I can work while everything was heating up, only to rush back with my phone to record what I ate. So we'll have to see how the footage comes out. And if all goes well, I'll be able to consistently be sharing what I'm having on this journey. As I said, like I introduced the avocado. Thankfully now, like the first day was kind of rough having it because obviously I haven't had anything fruit or veggie at all for over a year. So then thankfully it went well because even having it like up until recently, it seems like avocado is safe right now. So we'll just have to slowly kind of see, but I'm gonna keep everything like at a minimal, like I said. So we'll kind of see how that goes, but I'm gonna still stay
Well, look at
carnivore.
everything you went through in May.
Yeah.
You don't want to reincorporate anything, knowing that you healed so well from all that.
So well,
And the doctors told you, keep doing what you're
keep
doing.
doing what I'm doing. That's the
They didn't
thing.
tell you to go backward. They say keep doing what you're
Exactly.
doing.
So
So
that's why I'm
yeah.
being so careful, like with the reintroduction, like especially now, because like as I said, like morning sickness might show up and I don't want to have like a false feeling that something I reintroduced made me sick because of that particular item, that food item being a problem when it was the morning sickness being the problem. So just
Man,
kind
I'll
of
tell
to
you,
take things slow. I'm not in a rush to reintroduce anything. It's just to keep myself feeling better, most definitely.
I'll tell you what, when I was pregnant with my first one, I was sick day and night almost every day of my pregnancy. I carried
Mm.
saltine crackers with me everywhere I went. That's the only thing
Oh
that settled my
gosh.
stomach. That was it.
So
It
you
was
want to
horrible.
hear something funny. So this is prior to being keto, but for having my first and my second. I had said it in the chat, but for both pregnancies with the two boys that we have now, I had lost for one of them, it was like 70 something pounds with the first
I
pregnancy.
saw that. I did bring it
The
up.
second was like 80 something pounds because the only thing that I was able to keep down for the most part was broth, was bone broth. And imagine, I knew nothing of keto at the time, knew nothing of carnivore, but I was having bone broth all the time because I had asked the OBGYN, I said, I cannot keep food down. I cannot. And because I was working full-time jobs at the time, I couldn't be getting sick at work all the time because at that time I was not working from home. I was working on site somewhere, and it's not a pretty thing to be getting sick in the workplace. And she said, just have liquids then. She said that, if you consistently come in for your appointments and, we see something alarming, as far as the baby's weight or the baby's well-being, we'll have to improvise. But she said, just keep yourself hydrated. And that's
Yep.
what I did. So I was having the broth, and once in a while, like I'll have just like a little bit of like, I was putting just a little bit of like shredded chicken in it to kind of just add just a little something. But other than that, that was it. It was
Yeah, what it
bone broth
was.
and a
It's
little bit of
the same way
chicken.
with the crackers. It's the saltiness
The
because bone broth is
saltiness, yeah,
salty.
very
So just put some
salty.
salt. If you get morning sickness now, just throw
Yeah,
some salt.
yeah,
That's that's what that's the only thing that
yeah,
settled my stomach back then. It was
right.
horrible. I
Yeah,
couldn't eat anything.
yeah.
That's why I had only gained, like I said earlier, 24 pounds and had a 10-pound, 5-ounce baby.
You see?
It was crazy.
Yeah. And even losing that much weight, thankfully, like both boys, like they never had any complications. They were both like healthy pregnancies. So, I mean,
That's
it was
good.
no biggie for me to have lost that weight. And at that time, being non-keto, I definitely had pounds I was able to give at losing 70 and 80 pounds worth. So that's why the doctor, they weren't concerned. They were like, that's okay. They're like, because if anything, you have like enough fat reserve on your body that even like whatever you're burning is probably going to baby anyway.
That was nice of him to say.
I mean, it was the truth of it. Like sometimes, it comes out like blunt, but it is what it is.
Debbie was the same way. It was awful.
Yeah.
Saltine crackers were my saving grace, I'll tell you.
Ugh.
I'd go to work with a sleeve of crackers and put them right on my
I
desk.
think the worst
Like,
thing for me, because with that dry heaving that you're mentioning, when I was pregnant with our second, we had found mold. We had found black mold behind our kitchen range at the time. We had found out that the pipe for the kitchen sink that is like adjacent to where the kitchen range is, that pipe had corroded, started leaking, made the drywall behind the kitchen range get completely wet. Obviously, between the combination of living in Florida, having the oven running, you have that, that heat with that moisture that starts developing the black mold. So I had gotten sick thinking it was the black mold. Come to find out, I was pregnant with our second, but then again, I was still sick from the black mold. So it was ending up to be a combination of the two. So I did go through a lot of respiratory issues through that pregnancy, only because my lungs had not healed on time. Like it did not heal like fast enough going through the black mold like I went through.
well,
And then I'm sure being pregnant,
let's hope this one goes very
yes,
smoothly,
it
no
should.
complications,
It
no nothing.
definitely
And
should.
it's a little girl.
Oh my goodness. It's funny you say that because I asked our oldest. So I'm like literally, because I made like lamb skewers for dinner. So I'm like literally just standing in their kitchen, putting the lamb on the skewers. And our 15-year-old, he was just hanging around. And I just asked him, I was like, I never asked you. I was like, would you want a brother or sister? Because now he has his baby brother. So he says, so I really feel like I would want to experience a sister.
That's
It's just
cute.
the way he said it. Like instead of just saying like, yeah, I want a girl, or, I want a sister. I really would want to experience a sister.
He would be so protective of her.
He would be, because he is so protective of his little brother, because of their age gap. Yeah, so the youngest one, he's going to be turning 7 in exactly 23 days. So come January 28th, he'll be turning 7. So because I suffer from infertility, which I mentioned like on a video that I did of my pregnancy announcement, they have that big age gap for that very reason. I suffered from infertility. From the time that my husband and I got married, I had suffered from infertility ever since then. So you're talking about we got married in 2006. So that whole time up until present day. Yeah.
Uh,
Yes. Yes, that is exactly what I told my son.
yes.
I said, how would you feel if it does end up being a boy? Yeah, I'll be okay with it. I said, yeah. I said, because we cannot choose either way. We cannot choose. I said, you can make guesses towards it. You can feel a certain kind of way, but I said, all in all, we just gotta have prayers and hopes for a healthy baby.
You tell him he
That's
don't
really
have a
what it
choice
comes down
anyway.
to. Yeah, because that's what it comes down to. But what's really funny is the almost 7-year-olds hearing conversation between him and his older brother. He tells him, he said, hey, listen, because of course he sounds like the grown one. The teenager doesn't sound like the grown child. The almost 7-year-old is the one that sounds grown. He says, hey, you know, he's like, when this baby comes, I'll feed it, but you'll be on diaper duty. I
That's funny.
laughed so hard. I was at work and just hearing their interaction, I cracked up because just the fact that he wants to give orders for his brother to be on diaper duty and he'll handle the feedings.
Well, I'll tell you, neither one of my boys are planned, but they're 17 months apart. I was so glad I had them close together.
Close together, yeah.
And then I had one miscarriage after my youngest one. And I didn't even know then I was pregnant. I
Yeah.
started having a lot of back pain. I went to my primary care doctor
Yeah.
and he examined me, and I was what I thought I was on my period, you know?
Oh
And he
no.
said, he put it to me like this. He said, you're aborting. I
Oh
said, I'm
my
what?
gosh.
I didn't even know I was pregnant. I was like, what?
Oh my goodness.
Diaper duty. Yay.
Yes.
No.
It makes things interesting though to have their age gap because at first
Mhm.
like I thought it would be difficult, but actually seeing them together and just seeing like such a close bond that they have, and I think more so because of the age gap, because they really have such a strong connection because of course the younger one feels like his older brother is his keeper. And then the older one, he is almost like I'll joke with him sometimes and I'll call him like a junior daddy because he very much is like a very, very strict type of protector over his little brother. It's so
Yeah,
cute to watch them together.
for sure.
Yeah.
With mine,
Yeah.
they were so close in age. They were together all the time, whether they were being good or they were in trouble.
Yeah.
It was like, it was all the time.
And
It was
it's
crazy.
interesting because all right, my coworker, the one that called me ma'am, mind you, she is 23 and she's going to be having her second. And she just found out that she's actually having another boy because she already has a boy. He's 3. And just hearing the things that she was talking about that she's going to be buying for the baby, I'm like thinking to myself, like, wait a second. I'm like, that exists? Like, I never even had that on the market when I had my almost 7-year-old. So, oh my goodness, like the amount of things that have like advanced. Because even when I had the kids, like breastfeeding was straight on breastfeeding. But she's talking about, oh yeah, there's these like hand-free breast pumps now, and there's bottles that are exactly like as if the baby was feeding from the mother. And then she's talking about car seats, the actual baby car seat. She said that there's one that when you take the car seat out, it opens up and automatically converts to a stroller. She had me completely mind blown. I was like, Okay, I said, make me feel old now, why don't you? Because
You
I said,
know
I
what
can't
the car seats,
believe.
you know how car seats were for my kids? It was a plastic seat.
Yeah,
Just an old plastic, that's all it was. And we could hold the
yeah,
children in our lap in the car.
yes,
I brought
yes.
my sons home in my arms while my
Mm-hmm.
husband drove us home.
Yeah, yeah,
There was no car seats.
yes, because the
They didn't even have to
picture.
be in the back seat when they
Mm-hmm.
were
The
baby
pictures
when
my
we were
mother
little.
showed me, it almost kind of looked like almost like the old style like bassinets, like the way the bassinets were just like the basket. They're not
This
like the
wasn't even like
fancy.
that. I mean,
It's not
no.
even like the fancy ones that they have now that's like on a stand and can
Oh,
rock the baby and stuff.
I'm gonna see if I can find a
It was
picture.
very much like a box. It was very much like a box. Yes. Yeah, with Debbie saying that her boys are the same way. Yeah, the age gap.
Yep.
Some think it might be like a problem, but no. For them, it really worked out well for them, the age gap.
You're gonna have to do a whole thing and have somebody have a shower for you or something. Do a whole registry of
So it's funny because one of my coworkers, she knows like I have a YouTube channel. So she was like, "Oh, she's like, I wonder if you're gonna do a virtual baby shower." And I'm like, "Oh, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, like virtually." Because she's like, "We should do a virtual one for you at work." I was like, "Oh my gosh." I said, "Can you only imagine?"
sorry.
You're
I
on the
can't
hunt
find
for
what
it.
I can't find the one I was looking for, but this was I did find one, but it's on the
Yes, because the
computer
one that
and
my
I'm on the
mother had,
computer.
like, that's the best comparison I can give to it, but it was very much like a box.
Here, I'll show you. Let me take a picture of this and I'll put it up here because I've got it on my computer, so I don't know how it's going to work. It's a cute baby in it. Let me go back to here, see if it comes up.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
It would just hook onto the back of the seat. That's
yeah,
it. Can you see it?
yeah, yeah. We could see it, yeah. Yeah, that was like when we got to the point of being like a
I
little
can't
bit
hear you,
older.
son. I don't know what happened.
Oh no.
I can't hear you.
I can hear you. Can anyone else not hear me? What about now?
Hang on.
I wonder if anyone else. Oh, all right. So I wonder if something's going on Cindy's end. Can you
Try
hear me,
that.
Cindy?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think it's on Cindy's side too. I wonder if when she did something on her computer, if something muted. She might have muted her tab, like her browser tab. I'm trying to private chat with her to let her know because I think when she researched, she might have muted the browser. Yeah, because she's not on mute. I think just like at the top of the browser tab, how you can mute it, I think she probably muted it. She's gonna exit and come back. Let's see if that works. Maybe opening a new browser will help.
Did that work?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Unless you use the same browser.
Let's cut it.
So she's checking under settings. Yeah, I can definitely hear her. It's strange. All right,
If you all can
everyone.
hear
So
me, I'm
we're
going to
gonna
end
wrap
this
it
because
up.
I'm having problems here.
If you
All
guys
right.
can hear her, that's what she's basically saying. That we're just gonna wrap it up because I do not know what's going on. I think she probably muted her browser. That's why she can't hear me. But we could definitely hear her. You guys can hear me, so it might just be on her end. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here. As always, we appreciate you all so, so much for being here. Everyone, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you next Friday. Take care, everybody.